Welcome to ThePrint, and today we have with us Mr. Omar Abdullah, who is the Vice President of National Conference of J&K and the former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. Welcome to ThePrint, sir. So, the mood right now is that the election is going to come, say, next year. So that the tentative date, like when we go on the ground also, people are expecting that there'll be elections that will be held next year. So how is the National Conference really preparing in case the elections are announced, say, later next year?
We're not doing anything at the moment. Next year is, 3 months away.
Mm-hmm.
Next year stretches for 12 months. Next year can be January 2023, next year can be December 2023. So we're not doing anything. We are continuing to work as we have done for the last few years on the party organization, on reaching out to the people, on trying as best possible in this difficult environment to at least address some of their concerns, to bring their concerns to the powers that be. But beyond that, I can't point any particular activity that is specifically election related because it's pointless. Until there is clarity on when to expect elections, just saying that we can expect elections next year is useless. And anyway, as I said, we'll wait for the election bugle to be sounded, and then whatever preparations have to be done will follow after that.
So there was a stand by the regional parties, whether we had spoken to Mehbooba ma'am also and others as well, saying that unless the complete statehood is restored, they will not be participating in the election. Is there a change of stand? Will you be participating?
I can't speak for any other political party, but that's never been National Conference's stand. We would like statehood to be restored to Jammu and Kashmir, ideally before elections. But the easiest way to give a victory to the BJP on a platter is to tell them that we won't fight elections until statehood is restored, because they won't give you statehood then. And they'll make sure that you don't fight. And if we don't fight, then the BJP will sweep this election, both with their proxy parties in Kashmir as well as themselves towards Jammu side. So I think all sensible parties that are opposed to the BJP must ensure that we don't give the BJP a free run. We made a mistake of staying away from elections in the past. We're not going to repeat that mistake again.
And so what is your stand on the delimitation report? I've spoken to leaders, people on the ground. So this delimitation exercise that was held, in fact, a lot of people were saying that they could have waited for the census and then it could have been done, and it was rushed and it was, say, political in nature. What is your stand on that?
Well, our stand hasn't changed. We have always been opposed to all the changes that have been forced on J&K after 5th August 2019. Delimitation is one of those changes. Similarly, the move to include new voters into the voter list, what they call ordinary residents. This again stems from the changes of 5th August 2019, which is why we are opposed to it. So our opposition is not point by point. Our opposition is an umbrella one. We are opposed to all changes that are being brought into Jammu and Kashmir post 5th August 2019, simply because we believe that what happened on the 5th of August 2019 is illegal, it is unconstitutional. We would like, and we are hoping, that the Supreme Court will begin hearings on this.
Yes.
We believe our case is strong, and we hope to get justice from there.
And so how strong is the Ghulam Nabi Azad factor in Kashmir when we talk about the ground? Because he has categorically said that our agenda is not to fight for the 370 section, which is already gone, but to ensure that complete statehood is restored. So how strong is the
I think it's unfortunate when leaders surrender before they need to. Nobody is asking Ghulam Nabi Azad Sahab to join us in the fight against 5th August 2019. He's free to choose not to. But to suggest that the fight is already lost, even before the case has begun hearings in the Supreme Court, I think is unfortunate. We, those of us in the National Conference, we believe that we have a strong case against what happened on the 5th of August 2019. And I personally believe that one of the main reasons why we are not seeing this case in the Supreme Court so far is because the government is trying its level best to delay it. Otherwise, there is no reason why hearings wouldn't have started, which would suggest to me that the government itself believes it's on a weak wicket in this matter. And therefore, I would humbly appeal to Azad Saab that he's welcome not to join us in this fight, but at least through his statements, don't weaken the fight before we've had a chance to present our case in front of the Supreme Court. Because it's statements like these that will end up being used in evidence when this case is finally heard.
So in a hypothetical situation, say the elections happen and then there is a fractured mandate, and NC has to say go with one political party or the other to say make a government in Kashmir. So what will be your preferred parties?
I have never given categorical answers to hypothetical questions. You ask me a hypothetical question, you're not going to get a categorical answer. National Conference is not fighting elections for a fractured mandate. And therefore, a fractured mandate does not even enter the scope of our considerations.
And so if I ask that if there is a situation that's, again, it's a hypothetical question.
My answer would be the same. You will not get a categorical answer to a hypothetical question.
But if, say, there is a government, there is a situation that's created where if you make a government with the BJP and would prefer making a government, instead of a president.
I come back to my earlier answer. National Conference, unlike maybe the BJP, is not fighting an election looking for an alliance of that nature.
Okay, right. So when we talk about Amit Shah's rally in Baramulla, everybody said that it gathered a lot of crowd and it was a huge success. He also spoke about how three families, he spoke about the Abdullahs and the Muftis, and said the Congress had ruined Kashmir for the last 75 years. There have been no development in any sector, and now how PM Modi has brought in 55,000 crore of investment. And then we saw a National Conference's response also on that, where you put out a list of how many development projects really happened when the National Conference was in power. So if you could comment on that, I mean, is it purely political? Does BJP stand really a chance by, say, advertising these schemes?
No, they're welcome to advertise what they've done. In fact, we've been asking them, look, please advertise what you've done. We'd also like to see this 55,000 crores of investment. Where is it? You show it to me. I'll be more than happy to acknowledge it. In which sector has it come? Has that investment come into tourism? Because I haven't seen any new hotels in Jammu and Kashmir. Has that investment come into electricity generation? Because I haven't seen any new power projects. Has it come into transmission? Because I haven't seen any new transmission lines. Has it come into hospitals? I haven't seen any new government hospitals. Has it come into education? I have not seen any new education infrastructure. So please tell me, which sector has seen this 55,000 crores? If you can point it out to me, I'm more than happy. Now, if you're going to show me projects that started in the previous UPA government, then at least put that caveat that I'm inaugurating this project, but the project was started by somebody else, because that will include a lot of projects, like the railway, the bridge that they keep talking about across the Chenab. That project started when I was Chief Minister. Dr. Manmohan Singh was Prime Minister when we first started building that bridge across the river. How can you claim that? Yes, you may be there to complete it, but it didn't start with you. The tunnels on the National Highway, the tunnels underneath Zojila, the four-laning of the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway, the IIT, IIM, central universities, the AIIMS, the medical colleges. At least the start of these projects predates the BJP government. Now, if you want to include all those, no problem. But then be honest enough to say that, look, we are completing them, but we didn't start them. Otherwise, please show me 55,000 crores of fresh investment in Jammu and Kashmir. Look, if there is one thing I will give this government credit for, it's the ability to juggle numbers. It is incredible how well they are able to convert statistics to suit their convenience. You know, one of the recent numbers you would have seen is how Jammu and Kashmir has seen the largest tourist number in 70 years. and that we've had 1 crore 50 something lakh tourists.
Yeah.
Great, if these were all tourists. As a considered decision, at least until recently, in Jammu and Kashmir, we never counted Yatris as tourists. Because Yatris never did any tourist activity. Particularly the Yatris that visited Mata Vaishno Devi. They would arrive either in Jammu, go straight to Katra, up to Mata, do darshan and leave. They would not step 100 meters left or right of that particular track. No matter how much we tried, we could never get them to visit Badarwa or Mansar, Surinsar, Sanasar, Patni Top. Never. And with the coming of the train, their movement reduced even further. They would arrive by train to Katra, go straight up. They wouldn't even check into hotels in Katra. They would come straight down, get into the train, go back to sleep and leave. For the first time, this time I have now seen that they are counting Yatris as tourists.
Oh,
because you get 1.5 crore Yatris to Mata Vaishno Devi. You have counted Mata Vaishno Devi Yatris. You have counted Amarnath Yatris as tourists. Now I will concede this much, that some of the Yatris who come for darshan to Amarnath Ji also do a bit of tourism. So theek hai, that concession I'll give you. If you have 3 lakh Amarnath Yatris, let's say 2 lakh you count as tourists. Other than that, if you speak to the local tourist industry in Kashmir, they will tell you that there has been an increase in tourist numbers, but it has been marginal. I think if anything, the number of tourists into Kashmir is between 14 to 18 lakhs. So what is the big deal? So all you are doing is juggling numbers, and then, again, hats off to this government. Their ability to propagate a message is second to none. The moment somebody says 1 crore 57 lakh tourists, then suddenly every union minister jumps in and starts tweeting, "Congratulations to Modi ji, great achievement, 1 crore something tourists," and the media laps it up. None of you ask a question. Where have these numbers come from? We do not have the capacity to carry 1 crore 50 something lakh tourists. Where are the hotel beds? Given that no new hotel has been added in Kashmir in, let's say, the last 20 years, where did these tourists stay? Did they live in their cars? Did they sleep on the road? Did they sleep under the flyover? If there are no new hotels, then how come suddenly you have 1 crore plus tourists? But nobody wants to ask this question. All your TV channels, all your newspapers, all your internet and website newspapers, they all report this story as if the gospel truth. Scratch the surface, analyze the numbers, and you will realize that the growth is nothing. You've simply recategorized the tourist numbers. You have decided for the first time to include Yatris as tourists. That's it. So again, I'll come back to that point that you started your question with. Show me the fresh investment. The same way I'm saying, show me the fresh tourists. And I will concede that yes, you've achieved something. But all you're doing is juggling numbers.
So, and what about this Pahadi reservation issue that has cropped up? And he has, Mr. Shah, in fact, in his speech in Jammu as well as in Baramulla, promised that they will be given reservations also. Although it is unclear whether they'll be given ST status, but that has kind of raised fears among people of the Gujjar and the Bakarwal community, saying that, because we also reported from the ground on this, that how they feel that it is going to take away their share. So some are also calling it politically, like a political gimmick, just because there are 7 assembly seats where the Pahadis have a mandate. So what is your analysis of that?
You must give Pahadis their share, but you must do it in a way in which you protect the share and the rights of the Gujars. That's what we've always said. And this is not a new thing. From the very beginning, when in Indira Gandhi's government in 82, reservation and scheduled tribe status to Gujars was announced, in that very election, my father was then chief minister. A cabinet memo was prepared. A cabinet decision was sent to Mrs. Indira Gandhi ji, asking for a similar scheduled tribe status to be given to Pahadis.
Okay.
From that day onwards, we have been advocates of scheduled tribe reservations for Pahadis. But as I have said time and time again, and I still remember making this speech in Surankot in 2002, कि पहाड़ी की थाली में खाना डालने के लिए हमें गुजरों की थाली में छेद नहीं करना है. What the Gujars get, they must get. Pahadis must get their right. Let Amit Shah ji do this. We have no problem. We will never object to it.
But
We are advocates of it.
But is the ambition those 7 assembly seats when he says this?
I don't know what the ambition is. That is something only the BJP can answer. They are a very well-oiled election machine. Nothing they do is done without looking at the political fallout of it. I mean, why would they not consider the electoral benefits of their decisions? Delimitation, everything they've done, these non-local voters, all this is being done to help the BJP's electoral agenda. This must be also one of those things.
But how realistic is their expectation of
The
say-
BJP's?
Yes.
Show me a political party that has realistic expectations. Look, no political party will go into a fight saying, look, we're going to lose. Because then even if you're not going to lose, you will. No voter is going to look at you thinking, yaar, ye to haare hue hain, main tab bhi vote dunga. So you go in with you put your best foot forward and you hope that people will reward you for it. So BJP may very well have unrealistic expectations, but that's not a crime. Good for them.
Last question. What about the security situation in Kashmir? From what we've gathered from, say, police and intelligence sources, they tell us that it's calm, it's quiet, the recruitment is all-time low, the infiltration is all-time low, and you can see that people are, say, moving around freely, and it is a lot has changed in the last 3 years.
Yeah. Well, the day the Lieutenant Governor stops closing roads for his movement and actually stops at a traffic light, I will accept that the security environment is better. The security environment was so comfortable that I was able to drive from Srinagar to Pulwama to Shopanya to Anantnag and back without any route, without any warning in advance, and do spot check and surprise checks at hospitals, at ration depots, and at government offices as Chief Minister after a very heavy snowfall in winter one year in 2012-2013. Today, unfortunately, your Lieutenant Governor cannot move from the Raj Bhavan to the Secretariat without closing roads 10 minutes in advance. The day the Lieutenant Governor does what I did, I will accept that the security environment has changed for the better. So long as you close roads and lock me in my house on Gupkar Road because the Lieutenant Governor is moving, please don't tell me the security environment is better, because I refuse to accept that.
So Gupkar Alliance, we heard, what is the status of that alliance as of now? Because will they be contesting together, or will they come together after the elections? What is
The Gupkar
status?
Alliance is an alliance that was formed for a political fight. Our agenda is to fight against what happened on the 5th of August 2019. That agenda remains the same. We never came together as an electoral alliance.
Okay.
That was a product of circumstance. As of now, we continue, and we have reinforced that goal, that we are against what happened on the 5th of August 2019. That doesn't change.
Okay, but this is not an alliance that probably we'll see after the elections to form the government.
I don't have a crystal ball. There is no reason why you won't see it.
Okay,
We are fighting a political goal.
right.
This is not an electoral goal. The electoral arena, be that what it is.
So there is
the
a
political
possibility.
goal. Look, politics is the art of the possible. That's why I told you I don't give categorical answers to hypothetical questions, nor am I going to write the obituary of an alliance that is not dead. We have a political battle. We are fighting a political battle. How we choose to fight that political battle, that is something that is open to variation, open to change, open to interpretation. That, as times change, will also be modified.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Sure.
Thank you for watching.